Hello, welcome to the session of international business, and today we would be discussing foreign exchange markets and their participants. As such, what we have done up till now is about the nature of foreign exchange markets. So, the foreign exchange market, what is it? It is the place where money denominated in one currency is bought and sold with money denominated in another currency. It provides the physical and institutional structure through which the currency of one country is exchanged for that of the another country. The rate of exchange between currencies is determined and foreign exchange transactions are physically completed. What is the primary purpose of this market? The primary purpose is to permit transfer of purchasing power denominated in one currency to another. For example, a Japanese exporter sells automobiles to a United States dealer for dollars, and a US manufacturer sells instruments to a Japanese company for yen. The US company will like to receive payment in dollars, while the Japanese exporter would want that for yen. It would be inconvenient for individual buyers and sellers of foreign exchange to seek out one another. So, a foreign exchange market has developed to act as an intermediary. It is the largest financial market in the world, with prices moving and currencies trading somewhere every hour of every business day. Major world trading starts each morning in Sydney and Tokyo, moves to west to Hong Kong and Singapore, passes on to Bahrain, shifts to main European markets of Frankfurt, Zurich, and London, jumps to Atlantic to New York, goes west to Chicago, and ends in San Francisco and Los Angeles. It is the largest financial market in the world, having daily turnover of over $1,600 billion in 2001. Bulk of trading is accounted for by a small number of currencies: the US dollar, the Dutch mark, the Japanese yen, the British pound, Swiss francs, and Canadian dollars. Foreign exchange market is of two types: retail market and wholesale market. It is also termed as interbank market. In retail market, travelers and tourists exchange one currency for the other. The total turnover in this market is very small. Wholesale market comprises of large commercial banks, foreign exchange brokers in the interbank market, commercial customers, primarily multinational companies, and central banks, which intervene in the market from time to time to smooth exchange rate fluctuations or to maintain target exchange rates. Over 90% of the total volume of the transactions is represented by interbank transactions, and the remaining 10% by transactions between banks and their non-bank customers. It is worth noting that central bank intervention involving buying or selling in the market is often indistinguishable from the foreign exchange dealings of commercial banks or of other participants. The foreign exchange is similar to the over-the-counter market in securities. It has no centralized physical marketplace and no fixed opening and closing time. The trading in foreign exchange is done over the telephone, telexes, computer terminals, and other electronic means of communication. The currencies and the extent of participation of each currency in this market depends upon the local regulations that vary from country to country. Foreign exchange market in India is relatively very small. It is interesting to note that bulk of the turnover in the international exchange market is represented by speculative transactions. In India, the major players in that market are Reserve Bank of India, banks and business enterprises. Indian foreign exchange market is controlled and regulated by Reserve Bank of India. The RBI plays crucial role in settling the day-to-day rates. The participants in foreign exchange markets can be many. So, if we see, unlike a stock market, the foreign exchange market is divided into the level of access. At the top is the interbank foreign exchange market, which is made up of the largest commercial banks and securities dealers. Within the interbank markets, spreads, which are the differences between the bid and ask prices, are razor sharp and not known to players outside the inner circle. The difference between the bid and ask prices widens, for example, 0 to 1 to 1 to 2 circles. The difference between the bid and ask prices widens, and as you go down the level of access. This is due to the volumes. If a trader can guarantee large number of transactions for large amounts, they can demand a smaller difference between the bid and ask price, which is referred to as a better spread. The level of access that make up the foreign exchange market are determined by the size of the line. The top tier interbank market accounts for 51% of all the transactions. From there, smaller banks followed by large multinational corporations which needs to hedge risk and pay employees in different countries, large hedge funds and even some of the retail market makers. According to Galetti and Melvin, pension funds, insurance companies, mutual funds, and other institutional investors have played an increasingly important role in financial markets in general, and in foreign exchange markets in particular, since the early 2000s. In addition, he says that hedge funds have grown markedly over the 2001 to 2004 period in terms of both number and overall size. Central banks also participate in the foreign exchange market to align. One of the participants in the foreign exchange markets are commercial companies. They are an important part of foreign exchange market because the financial activities of companies seeking foreign exchange to pay for goods and services are ample. Commercial companies often trade fairly small amounts compared to those of banks or speculators, and their trades often have a little short-term impact on market rates. Nevertheless, trade flows are an important factor in the long-term direction of a currency's exchange rate. Some multinational corporations can have an unpredictable impact when very large positions are covered due to exposures that are not widely known by other market participants. Multinational corporations are basically major non-bank participants in the forward market as they exchange cash flows associated with their multinational operations. Multinational corporations often contract to either pay or receive fixed amounts in foreign currencies at future dates. So, they are exposed to foreign currency risk. This is why they often hedge these future cash flows through the interbank forward exchange market. Next, participants are commercial banks. Commercial banks are normally taking over the position to support the economy of the country by carrying over the foreign currency from one period to another for meeting the future need of the country. They are also sometimes making short sale. What is short sale? It is agreeing to sell or actually selling the foreign currency without any real capacity to sell through, or borrow the required currency from others. That means when you do not own it but you sell it off, is you are doing a short sell of foreign currency to satisfy the need of firms to make payments. Later on, to bring the position in equilibrium, they quote the rates for buying and selling of foreign currency accordingly. As they are buying the foreign currency from the customer, the rate they quote for buying the foreign currency is technically named as bid rate. When they sell the foreign currency to customer, the rate they quote is technically known as ask rate. Central banks. Another important player in the foreign market is central bank of the various countries. Central banks frequently intervene in the market to maintain the exchange rates of their currencies within a desired range and to smooth fluctuations within that range. The level of the bank's intervention will depend upon the exchange rate regime followed by the given country's central bank. As such, the national central banks play very significant role in the foreign exchange markets. They try to control the money supply, inflation, and or interest rates, and often have official or unofficial target rates for their currencies. They can use their often substantial foreign exchange reserves to stabilize the market. Nevertheless, the effectiveness of central bank stabilizing speculation is doubtful. Why? Because central banks do not go bankrupt if they make large losses as other traders would. There is also no convincing evidence that they actually make a profit from such trading. The foreign exchange fixing. Foreign exchange fixing is the daily monetary exchange rate fixed by the National Bank of each country. The idea is that central banks use the fixing time and exchange rate to evaluate the behavior of their currency. Fixing exchange rates reflect the real value of equilibrium in the market. Banks, dealers, and traders use fixing rates as a market trend indicator. The mere expectation or rumor of a central bank foreign exchange intervention might be enough to stabilize the currency. However, aggressive intervention might be used several times each year in countries with a dirty float currency regime. Central banks do not always achieve their objectives. The combined resources of the market can easily overwhelm any central bank. Several scenarios of this nature were seen in 1992-93 European exchange rate mechanism collapse and in more recent times in Asia as well. Investment management firms who typically manage large accounts on behalf of customers such as pension funds and endowments use the foreign exchange market to facilitate transactions in foreign securities. For example, an investment manager bearing an international equity portfolio needs to purchase and sell several pairs of foreign currencies to pay for foreign securities purchases. Some investment management firms also have more speculative specialist currency overlay operations which manage clients' currency exposures with the aim of generating profits as well as limiting risk. While the number of this type of specialist firm is quite small, many have a large value of assets under management and can therefore generate large trades. Portfolio managers, pooled funds, and hedge funds actually make up the second biggest collection of players in the foreign exchange market, that is only next to banks and central banks. So the investment managers trade currencies for large accounts such as pension funds, foundations, and endowments. An investment manager with an international portfolio will have to purchase and sell currencies to trade foreign securities. Investment managers may also make speculative forex trade, while some hedge funds execute speculative currency trades as part of their investment strategies. We cannot really forget that there can be multinational corporations, which we have already talked about, who are engaged in importing and exporting. They also conduct foreign exchange transactions to pay for goods and services. So we can have an example here that, let's say, German solar panel producer imports American components and sells its finished products in China. After the final sale is made, the Chinese yuan the producer received must be converted back to euros. So the German firm must then exchange euros for dollars to purchase more American components. So companies trade foreign exchange to hedge the risk associated with foreign currency transactions. The same German firm might purchase American dollars in the spot market, or actually can enter into a currency swap agreement to obtain dollars in advance of purchasing components from the American company in order to reduce foreign currency exposure risk. Also, hedging against currency risk can add a level of safety to the offshore investments. So we can see that investment management firms and multinationals both, they hedge risk through these foreign exchange markets. Retail foreign exchange traders. So the individual retail speculative traders constitute a growing segment of this market. Currently, they participate indirectly through brokers or banks. Retail brokers, while largely controlled and regulated in the United States by the Commodity Futures Trading Commission and National Futures Association, they have previously been subjected to periodic foreign exchange fraud. To deal with this issue in 2010, the NFA required its members that deal in the foreign exchange markets to register as such. That is the Forex CTA instead of General CTA. So those NFA members that would traditionally be subject to minimum net capital requirements, FSCMs and IBs are subject to greater minimum net capital requirements if they deal in foreign exchange. A number of foreign exchange brokers operate from United Kingdom under Financial Services Authority regulations, where foreign exchange trading using margin is part of the wider over-the-counter derivatives trading industry that includes contracts for difference and financial spread betting. There are two main types of retail foreign exchange brokers offering the opportunity for speculative currency trading. These are brokers and dealers are also known as market makers. So the brokers, they serve as an agent of the customer in the broader foreign exchange market. What do? They seek the best price in the market for a retail order and dealing on the behalf of that retail customer. They charge a commission, or that is also known as a markup, in addition to the prices obtained in the market. Dealers or market makers, in contrast, act as principals in the transactions versus the retail customer, and they quote a price they are willing to deal at. So the volume of foreign exchange trades made by retail investors is actually extremely low as compared to the financial institutions and multinational companies. But it is really growing rapidly in popularity. Retail investors base currency trades on a combination of fundamentals. And what are those fundamentals which they would look upon? The interest rate parity, the inflation rates, also the monetary policy expectations. So these are the fundamentals they will look at, as well as the technical factors. What can be the technical factors? The support, the resistance, technical indicators, as well as the price patterns. So the resulting collaboration of the different types of foreign exchange traders is a highly liquid global market that impacts business around the world. Exchange rate movements are actually a factor in inflation, global corporate earnings, as well as the balance of payments account for each country. For example, let's say the popular currency carry trade strategy highlights how market participants influence exchange rates. That in turn is going to have a spillover effect on the global economy. The carry trade executed by banks, hedge funds, investment managers, and individual investors are they designed to capture differences in yields across currencies by borrowing low yielding currencies and selling them to purchase high yielding currencies. For example, if the Japanese yen has a low yield, market participants would sell it and purchase a high yield currency. When interest rates in higher yielding countries begin to fall back towards lower yielding countries, the carry trade unwinds and investors sell their higher yielding investments. An unwinding of the yen carry trade may cause large Japanese financial institutions and investors with sizable foreign holdings to move money back into Japan because the spread between foreign yields and domestic yields has narrowed down. So, this strategy in turn may result in a broad decrease in global equity prices. There are other participants also, and these are the non-bank foreign exchange companies. The non-bank foreign exchange companies, they offer currency exchange and international payments to private individuals and companies. These are also known as foreign exchange brokers, but they are distinct in that they do not offer speculative trading but rather currency exchange with payments. That is, there is a usually physical delivery of currencies to a bank account. It is estimated that in United Kingdom 14% of currency transfers or payments are made through foreign exchange companies. These companies' selling point is usually that they will offer better exchange rates or cheaper payments than the customer's bank. These companies differ from money transfer or remittance companies in that they generally offer higher value services. The volume of transactions done through foreign exchange companies in India amounts to about 2 billion US dollars per day. This does not compete favorably with any well developed foreign exchange market of international repute. But with the entry of online foreign exchange companies, the market is steadily growing. Around 25% of currency transfers or payments in India are made through non bank foreign exchange companies. Most of these companies use the USP of better exchange rates than the banks. They are regulated by FEDAI, and any transaction in foreign exchange is governed by the FEMA Act, that is Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. The last players in the foreign exchange markets are money transfer or remittance companies, also bureau de change. So, money transfer companies or remittance companies perform high volume, low value transfers, generally by economic migrants back to their home country. In 2007, the ETE Group estimated that there were $369 billion of remittances. That was an increase of 8% from the previous year. The four largest foreign markets, these are India, China, Mexico, and Philippines, receive $95 billion. The largest and best known provider is Western Union with 345,000 agents globally, followed by UAE Exchange. Bureau de change or currency transfer companies provide low value foreign exchange services for travelers. These are typically located at airports and stations or at tourist locations and allow physical notes to be exchanged from one currency to another. They access foreign exchange markets through banks or non bank foreign exchange companies. So, these were the different market players in the foreign exchange market. There is a reason why foreign exchange is the largest market in the world. It empowers everyone from central banks to retail investors to potentially see profits from currency fluctuations related to the global economy. There are various strategies that can be used to trade and hedge currencies, such as the carry trade, which highlights how foreign exchange players impact the global economy. The reasons for foreign exchange trading are varied. Speculative trades executed by banks, financial institutions, hedge funds, and individual investors are profit motivated. Central banks move foreign exchange markets dramatically through monetary policy, exchange regime settings, and in rare cases, currency interventions. Corporations trade currencies for global business operations and to hedge risk. Overall, investors can benefit from knowing who trades foreign exchange and why they do so. These are the references. Thank you for listening.